YouTube. Hello, it's been probably a month or so. Anyways, I wanted to start the new year. I was actually hoping to end the new year with a list of ranking the video games I played this past year. So I'm going to start off the new year doing that. I plan on making another video just kind of highlighting some of the games I'm looking forward to the most this upcoming year. But first, I want to share some of the games I did enjoy. So this is a tier list of all the video games I played this month. I have about 20 games that I played. I definitely played more games, but these are the games that I either beat to completion just because they were that good, I had to finish, and games that I spent a lot of time playing. So there are definitely games that I spent a lot of time playing that I maybe did not think were great games, but just ended up playing a lot. Hint, hint, Madden or NBA 2K. But anyways, these are the games that I predominantly played this year. So in chronological order of which I played them, actually, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm going to put this one in A tier. It'll be high A tier. This was probably the first game that I played this year, and it really kind of surpassed my initial expectations, and I ended up really enjoying it. And if you guys see me glancing over, it's because I'm looking at my list of games. The next game I played was Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like this is a solid B tier game. A lot of fun, interesting story. I would really only recommend it if you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a fun game though. Next up, we have Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. I don't want to put it in S tier because I didn't think it was quite that good. I definitely enjoyed it more than Legends Arceus. It had a lot of challenge if you wanted it, or it was super easy if you just kind of wanted to play through, but it was definitely a cool direction for the Kirby franchise, a franchise I've not really spent a lot of time playing. So that was a good way to get into it. Next up, we have Skywalker Saga, which was a game I was actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Threw it in S tier. Easily one of my top games I played this year. At the end, it'll probably be obvious because I'll have them ranked, but I will kind of touch on my game of the year. This one was definitely in contention. Next up is Madden 22. This is a game that I just kind of always play each year with friends, by myself. It's just kind of one of those mindless games. They rip people off every year. I'm going to go ahead and get NBA 2K. I'm going to put NBA 2K in D tier just because they really irritate me and really annoy me with their microtransactions. Madden is pretty bad too, but 2K is just on another level. It should honestly be illegal. Next up is Shredder'S Revenge. I'm going to put this in B tier, below Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a fun little bite-sized game. Kind of got in and got out. Maybe play it for a total of 2 hours. Really fun. If you had some friends, I would imagine that'd be really fun. I played it by myself like a loser. Next up, we have Skyward Sword. I'm going to put this in C tier for me. Objectively, it was a good game. I just really didn't like it. It was really difficult playing Breath of the Wild and then going to Skyward Sword. Just that old Zelda formula just doesn't really do it for me now after playing Breath of the Wild, especially with the way the controls were in that game. It just left a lot to be desired. I do have a review on that game, so feel free to check that out. Next up, we have Inside, which was a game my friend Matthew recommended me. I'm going to put it in A tier. I really did enjoy it. It was incredibly unsettling. Another nice kind of quick snippet game. Maybe play for a total of 5 hours at most. Really creepy. Really make you uncomfortable. Definitely recommend. Definitely worth a play though. Next up, we have Tunic, which I'm going to put in A tier, a little ahead of Inside. I actually did not fully finish the game. I kind of reached the last level where you have to beat 5 bosses in a row, and I said, nah dude, I cannot do that. That game is brutal. It is merciless. You will sweat and cry and throw things. It is a really good game, but man, you got to be ready for a challenge. Next up, we have Batman. Batman Arkham Knight, which is the third in the Arkham series, or maybe fourth. I'm gonna put a little bit above Guardians of the Galaxy because while I did enjoy it, I don't know, there's just something about it. It didn't really quite satisfy me in the same way some of those other Arkham games did. Not that it necessarily does anything worse than those games per se, but I don't know, but that game, honestly, visually and technically, it looks amazing even to today. That could be a current, next gen, I should say, video game. Next up, we have Cult of the Lamb. This was a game that I'm going to put in S tier in the front right now. This was easily one of my most played video games this year, at least for the duration that I played it. It was like I played it for like a week straight. I didn't do anything else. It felt like so much fun, amazing music. The combat is kind of simple, but it does so much more in addition to the combat. It's just a really great game. You do a ton of different weird things in that game. It's just really funny, very different, which I like. The art style was really cool. The graphics were really interesting. It was kind of like a 2.5D game. Really, really interesting, and definitely recommend that one. Especially you can get it for like $20. I mean, that is a great deal, and you can play that on any platform. Next up, we have Astro's Playroom, which I'm going to put... I'm actually going to put it above... I'm going to put it as the... Ooh, I almost feel like it's an A tier game. I actually did enjoy it more than Tunic. Really kind of... It's really just a tech demo for the PS5, but it's so much fun, and it really showcases what the PlayStation can do. Also, very easy platinum trophy to snag if you're into collecting trophies for PlayStation. And it's completely free when you buy PlayStation 5, so... It might even be free to download. Really fun and well-made tech demo. I was really impressed with it. Next up, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I finally played on my PlayStation 5. I had it on PlayStation 4. I am going to put this in A tier, a little bit above. I'll put it lead in the A tier. It's a Spider-Man game. Love Spider-Man. Super fun game. Nice length to it as well. Very manageable. Like, you don't have to put a lot of time into it to enjoy the story. Really good story. The original one, also amazing. I think the original is a little better because it's a little more... the story is just longer. That's the only real reason, honestly. Next up, we have Splatoon 3, which I will also put in the lead in A tier. Just a really fun Nintendo multiplayer game. One of their big releases this year. Really, really well made. It is kind of a refresh of Splatoon 2, but there's been enough distance between those two releases to where I was definitely itching for some more Splatoon. So definitely a fun game. Next, I have Ratchet and Clank, which is another S tier game. Ooh, I just don't know where to put it. I don't know. Ratchet and Clank, super fun. I could see me kind of going back and forth on this placement. I mean, it's a perfect game, and it really showcases the new, stuff the PlayStation 5 can do, really. Amazing graphics, amazing graphics, amazing graphics, amazing graphics. Really nice, concise story, but, like, you feel, like, very satisfied, with it, and also get the platinum trophy for that. It's not very hard. Next up, we have Destroy All Humans 2, which I am going to put in the B tier. I had a lot of technical issues when I played the game, but separate from that, it was just a really fun game. This was one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games to play with all my friends back in the day. The humor in this is definitely from its era. There is some crazy shit that they say in this game that I don't think that you'd be able to get away with today, but they kept it in there. They updated the graphics and everything too, so it looks really good, and it's still just as fun as it was on PlayStation 2. It's just a fun video game where you're just running around destroying stuff. I mean, really can't beat that. I should say, with Cult of the Lamb, I had a lot of tech issues as well, and I do have a review for that on the channel. Next up, we have God of War Ragnarok. I feel like I kind of have to put this in the lead. I mean, it's just very few video games this year made me cry. God of War was one of them. It's just amazing story, just kind of... I didn't really have any issues with the game. Everything about it was amazing. The combat, the story, the art, the graphics, the music, head to toe, masterpiece. Probably the best PlayStation 5 game you can buy right now. Probably the only one that you need to play if you own a PlayStation 5. And last but not least, we have Pokemon Violet, which I really don't know where to put this one because it is such a confusing game for me. Quality-wise, it's like a D or a C, but just fun-wise, I mean, I had more fun with this game than Guardians of the Galaxy and Arkham Knight. I honestly need to shift these around. I think Arkham Knight goes ahead of that, but back there. Because I think Destroy All Humans 2 is my favorite of this grouping of games. But Pokemon Violet, obviously a lot of issues when it released, still a lot of issues now. I doubt any of them have been resolved by the time you even watch this. There has only been one patch of updates. It is assumed that more updates and like downloadable content will be released for the game, but just really disappointing release. But regardless of that, it's still a really fun game. I really wish that they, I hope that the next game is just a mixture of Pokemon Violet and Legends Arceus with the throwing mechanics in addition to the true open world of Pokemon Violet. I think once they can kind of get their tech shit fixed and realize what we want as fans, I think that the Pokemon series is obviously one of the best selling entertainment properties of all time. But to the fans, we want more. We don't want to see games released like Violet did, where, it's kind of a hot mess. And like the core of it is fun. And the same thing with Arceus. It was kind of a hot mess at release. Visually, it was unimpressive. But the core of it is just so fun that you can kind of look past that stuff, which really just, is unacceptable when you pay $60 to have really an incomplete game. But what are you going to do? Anyways, so to wrap up my tier list, I think it's pretty obvious. God of War is probably my game of the year. It was a really close one with Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb was just a lot of fun, but God of War was truly a masterpiece, so to say it was anything less than my game of the year would be doing it a disservice, and be doing you guys watching this video a disservice too, because it was just that good. Cult of the Lamb, really fun as well. These are a majority of the games I played this year. I kind of ended the year playing some Golf Story because of Sports Story is releasing, and I had never played Golf Story and it was on sale, so that's what I'm playing right now. But it is New Year, so that will be on next year's video. Anyways, let me know what your guys' favorite game this year that you played was. Mine, God of War, snuck in towards the end, so maybe a little bit of recency bias, but I think when I look at all of these games, I think that it's number one. So appreciate you guys checking out this video. See you in the next one.